right, we're in the studio for my smaller library, my regular day library, not the big library, in my AI background. Just kidding, but being honest. It's awesome to be here, though. It's always awesome to be in this space and being able to share. When to go live again is on my mind. Um, it definitely is on my mind to go live again, and when and how and where. I would like to go live again. Um, Give it a chance to build my program, my station. Um, we were having some good growth in the last week or so, not much, but anyways. But I did take a little hiatus because I was sick, and a lot of times being just consistent has been the difference, and the clips, the magic clips. But I told you I had an outstanding video, so I'm not going to hold you much longer. Let you guys all come in, because this thing we're going to get at is 32. Might as well do it all at one time. It's roughly around 32 minutes. We're about a minute and a half. And this is actually reshaping your thoughts, reshaping reality within is what this is called. So let's get started. Let's do this. Let's get underway.
What if your breath wasn't just a function of survival, but a sacred?
This, let me stop it real quick. The name of the station has came to me the last few days, and it's called The Children of Ra. This video really came to me after meditation this morning, and then I listened to it. And when I listened to it, I was really amazed. Went through the channel, subscribed, because there's a lot of good factors in here. There's a couple other good videos I could see to share, because it goes into some specific growth of self by using and knowing knowledge. It's very much deeper about how to maneuver with self. So let's look. The observer breath, how to reshape reality within. Let's go.
What if your breath wasn't just a function of survival, but a sacred instrument of creation? Most people never notice it. They go through life breathing unconsciously, unaware that every inhale is a signal and every exhale is a command. But ancient mystics knew something science is only beginning to understand. Your breath is not just air, it's attention in motion. It is the rhythm of the observer. And what you observe shapes what you experience. Right now, you're breathing, but where is your breath coming from? Is it rising from your chest, fast and shallow, shaped by anxiety? Or is it rooted in your belly, slow, deep, timeless? Because here's the truth. The field does not respond to your thoughts. It responds to your frequency. And nothing tunes your frequency faster than breath aligned with awareness. The breath is the moment you step.
I made a statement a few months ago, and I put out a video called "Your Frequency is Your Password." To me, this aligns with it. The observer breath. Your breath is your password, because it's your frequency.
Out of the mind and into the field. Not through control, but through stillness. Not by trying to change reality, but by becoming a space where reality reorganizes itself around coherence. In this video, we'll explore how your breath can awaken the observer within you. You'll discover the sacred pause between inhales, a doorway into the quantum. You'll learn how to use conscious breathing not to escape this world, but to reshape it from within. Welcome to the silent revolution. The breath is the key, and you are the door.
For the love of Mother Earth, fur babies, changing things, stranger things.
Breathe in, not as a habit, not as a reflex, but as if you were listening to the world begin again inside you. This is the first portal, before language, before thought, before your name and your history. There was this, the inhale, the exhale, the silent intelligence that knows exactly when to expand and when to let go. In every spiritual tradition, there is a mystery hidden in plain sight. The breath is more than physiology. It is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, between the body that lives in time and the awareness that does not. When you were born, you didn't think, you breathed. Your soul entered this reality not through words, but through rhythm. That first inhale wasn't just survival, it was initiation. And yet, somewhere along the way, we forgot. We let the breath become mechanical background noise. We learned to chase life instead of feeling it unfold inside us. But here's what the ancients understood. Your breath isn't something you do, it's something you remember. It is the axis of your perception, the spindle on which time and awareness turn. Every inhale draws awareness in. Every exhale returns energy to the field. And in between, in that brief pause, reality listens. There's a moment so brief, so subtle, where the breath stops, not because you held it, but because something deeper took over. A stillness that isn't empty, but overflowing with presence. That moment is sacred. It's the moment the observer awakens. You see, breath is not about oxygen alone. It carries geometry. It carries intention. It carries memory from lifetimes encoded in your cells. A language beyond words, spoken through silence and rhythm. Shamans, monks, yogis, they all knew. Control the breath, and you begin to influence the field. Not through effort, but through resonance. Because your breath is your frequency. Your state of being isn't just reflected in the breath, it is shaped by it. When you breathe from survival, your body contracts. Your vision narrows. You begin to scan the world for threat, and so the world obliges. But when you breathe from presence, when the inhale is slow and the exhale deeper still, something shifts. You stop reacting. You begin receiving. The world softens, bends, and your perception, that quantum lens, begins to align with truth. Have you ever noticed what happens when you truly stop? When you sit, close your eyes, and do nothing except breathe? At first, there is noise, thoughts like waves. Then slowly, the noise loses its grip. The thoughts slow down, and what remains is not emptiness, but vastness. You become the space. You are no longer inside your thoughts.
Wow.
You are watching them. You are the observer.
Yes.
And this is where breath becomes sacred, because every breath you take from that place is no longer just keeping you alive. It's keeping you aligned. The field, that unseen sea of potential, responds not to what you say, but to how you are. And how you are is encoded in the rhythm of your breath. This is why every mystic tradition begins with the breath, because before you can speak truth, you must breathe it. Before you can live with clarity, you must anchor your attention in the body. Breath is the gatekeeper. It brings the mind into the body, and the body into the now. You do not need to silence your mind. You only need to breathe so deeply that the mind dissolves into awareness. Your breath is the most ancient prayer. It speaks to the field without words. It aligns your frequency without force. And in its silence, you begin to remember what you are. Not a name, not a thought, not even a soul inside a body, but the breath between worlds, the axis on which perception turns. And once you remember that, you're no longer trying to change reality. You're becoming the rhythm it responds to.
This is how to get in shape fast.
Get it off real
If you want to drop this, start eating more of these. You might think this would take years.
Close your eyes, not to escape the world, but to witness the one within. Feel your breath enter, not just your lungs, but your awareness.
The
Let it move
observer
through
within.
you like a gentle tide returning to the shore. And now, watch. This is the moment most never reach. When breath becomes observation, and observation becomes liberation. Because you are not just the one breathing. You are the one watching the breath, the witness behind the rhythm, the stillness behind the motion. This shift is subtle, but it's everything. In that shift, identity softens. You stop clinging to the storm of thoughts, and instead, you see them pass, like clouds across an eternal sky that never moves. That sky is you. We live in a world addicted to movement, to noise, reaction, doing. But the breath, especially the conscious breath, teaches something else. It teaches being, presence, that sacred space where perception opens and the false self dissolves. When you sit with your breath, you meet your own field. You notice the tension stored in your body. You see how your breath becomes shallow when you feel unsafe, or how it disappears altogether when the mind panics. And in that noticing, you awaken the observer. The observer is not a part of the ego. It's not the voice in your head. It doesn't judge, compare, or plan. It sees, it holds, it listens. And in its gaze, things begin to unravel, but also to align. You begin to realize something profound. You were never your thoughts, never your emotions, never even your personality. You were always the space they moved through, the conscious field, the still point. Breath becomes the compass that guides you back to that still point, not by forcing you to stop thinking, but by shifting your center of gravity from mind to awareness. This is what ancient seers meant when they said, know thyself. Not as an idea, as a presence, as the one who watches silently as the universe unfolds inside and out. Have you ever experienced a moment where time slowed down? Maybe it was during a crisis or in the arms of someone you loved. Suddenly, the noise faded. Your awareness expanded, and everything, the light, the sound, your breath, became vivid, sacred, alive. That was the observer, and that presence is always within you. But to access it, you must pass through the breath. Because the breath anchors you, it breaks the trance of thought, it interrupts the autopilot, it brings you home. Home is not a place, it's a state,
Yes.
a resonance, and your breath is the key. In that resonance, something powerful begins to happen.
Home.
You start to see life as it is,
Wow.
not as your fears or desires painted it.
Frequency.
Your relationships change. You listen more. You react less. You notice patterns you were blind to before. And the beauty? This clarity doesn't come from effort. It comes from being, from staying close to your breath, as if it were your teacher. Because it is. The breath reveals where your energy is trapped. It shows you where you've abandoned yourself. It invites you to return again and again to the only moment that matters, now. The observer doesn't need to fix. It doesn't need to chase. It only needs to see. And what it sees, it begins to transform. Through awareness, you transmute. Through breath, you stabilize. And through stillness, you remember that your power isn't in what you can do, but in what you can hold. Your fears, your desires, your stories. Hold them all in your breath, without clinging, without pushing, and watch what happens. The noise fades. The tension melts. The ego loosens its grip. And what remains is you, the true you, the silent, eternal witness that has always been watching, waiting, breathing. Welcome back.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the
Very
Chief
good
Executive
stuff.
Officer of Phoenix
Very
Energy.
deep.
I look forward to you joining us at our
You
next.
can think about applying this to meditation. Part
There is
3.
a space so subtle, most people never feel it. It lives between your inhale and your exhale, a sacred gap, a moment without motion, a breathless instant where everything is listening. This is the quantum pause. You felt it, even if you didn't know what it was. That tiny stillness after the inhale, before you let go, or the silent void before the next breath arrives. In that space, time opens, mind dissolves, and something deeper, something infinite, becomes present. This pause is not a void. It is a field, a presence so full it feels empty, a door so closed you can't see it, because you are it. Modern science calls it the parasympathetic drop. Mystics called it the eye of the needle,
Heavy, huh?
the moment
Eye
when the
of the
mind
needle.
surrenders and the field receives. Because in this pause,
So it was called an esoteric and stuff that before the Bible, the eye of the needle, that breath within the breathing in before the breathing out, that space of unity and oneness and silence is the eye of the needle.
your intention enters, not your words, not your thoughts, your state, your frequency. The field doesn't care about what you want. It reflects what you are. And what you are is most clearly revealed in stillness. That's why the pause is powerful, because it carries no resistance, no striving, only being. And from that place,
Being.
reality begins to shift. In most of life, we live in oscillation. Inhale, exhale, thought, action, reaction. But in the pause, we are not in motion. We are in potential. And that potential is vast. It's where the script can be rewritten, where the story can bend, where the wave collapses into the particle,
Yes.
and your intention crystallizes into experience. The quantum pause is not about doing, it's about holding the moment, holding your awareness without interference, holding your inner space like a chalice. This is the essence of all sacred practice, to become still enough for reality to hear you. Breath is the rhythm, pause is the temple, and you are the flame inside. In the ancient Egyptian schools, initiates were trained to sit in stillness for hours, not in silence of sound, but in silence of intention. Breath slowed to a whisper. Mind dissolved into presence. And in that stillness, visions arose, because the veil is thinnest when you stop trying to pierce it. What arises in the pause is not created, it's remembered. You don't push your desire into the field. You receive the frequency it already lives on. This is why the most powerful manifestation is not loud. It's not a demand. It's an attunement. You breathe, you pause, you feel, and you allow. From that place, you don't chase alignment. You become it. Sit with your breath now. Inhale gently, exhale completely. And then pause. Wait. Don't rush. Don't think. Feel that space? That is the womb of creation. It's not empty, it's alive, it's aware, it's waiting, not to be told what to do, but to reflect who you are being. In that instant of pause, when you stop identifying with the mind, you become the signal, the coherence, the presence that reality reconfigures itself around. So few reach this state, not because it's difficult, but because it's subtle. It requires letting go of effort, letting go of expectations, letting go of the idea that your breath is just breath, because the breath is sacred and the pause is holy. It is the still I at the center of the storm, the silence that doesn't just reflect your state, it amplifies it. And once you learn to dwell there, even for a second, you no longer fight reality. You co-create with it. In this sacred gap, you can place your intention, not as a wish, but as a frequency. You can hold gratitude, presence, love, and feel them radiate outward like waves. No effort, no force, just breath, pause, being. And in that being, everything begins to change. Not because you made it happen, but because you became the condition it arises within. This is the true art. Not control, but coherence. The pause is where you become the tuning fork.
Yes.
And reality, it listens.
Hey, have you ever been told you have an
Okay, so we're going to do this in 2 parts. I decided to do. Okay. Let me play this commercial out, but we're gonna
nice voice? Well,
break.
what if I told you you could turn your voice into
And this will be here at this part 4, building the inner temple, and why I did this and why I wanted to do this was 2 different things, right? Was because, let me stop sharing, is because I seen how we did 3 parts of the reality of the mirrored holographic reality, and the actually through that, this field of energy that's connected to us, or can that we through this field can start having our energetic field very impressionable by what we are, right? So this video for me was to put this out so you know, through all what we're doing here, teaching this and that, and you can say, well, how do I apply it? This video, which we're doing 2 parts, so I'm going to cut it out in a second, is how we do it. So there's a part 1 and 2 to this too. Okay. This is powerful. This coincides with your practice, how to do it. And even using what he went through in this part of the video, that first half we've seen, how you can align this in your meditation to start practicing these things, to manifest these things, to experience them. Woo, good stuff. I really thought this was perfect when I really went into it and looked at this for the other videos and harmonized with it. So the 4 and 5 will be after this next one, right? Which will be Buddhism and Gnosticism, but we're going to have 1 and 2 of this. So you guys have a great day. I'm going to come back with number 2.